Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mike Kollin, and welcome to Crack the Female Code at crackthefemalecode.com. So initially what I wanted to do is I wanted to start this video out with a somber song, because the subject I'm going to share with you is a really sad thing that men and women do, and it's a absolute complete misunderstanding and mistake that both parties made, because we are neurologically wired in the opposite direction. The announcement I'm going to make right now is all of my prices are going back up to the way they were before the lockdowns. Alright, so I'm going to say something to you, and I guarantee you've seen it in the movies. You've heard girlfriends screaming at their boyfriends and wives yelling at their husbands. You've heard it, but you probably just overlooked it, blocked it out, and just thought, she's just being crazy. The other thing I want to say before I start this video is I am going to put in this video, after the initial part, I'm going to put some tests in there to show you how we are different. When I saw these tests, when someone did this to me many years ago, suddenly everything about right and left brain made sense. And that's what we're talking about. Men and women use different parts of our brain for romance, for love, for seduction, for everyday communication. There is literally a hidden language that is hidden from the male brain, and I'm not joking. This is not a metaphor, it's not a theory, it's not an opinion. We are speaking two different languages, and women say it all the time, and men are like, oh yeah, they just kind of go along with it, because your whole method is just agree with her and tell her what she wants to hear, and I don't know what she's talking about, and kind of lost, and that there's an answer. There's a real answer to all of your problems, from picking up a girl, to meeting a woman, to communicating in a way that she can actually understand you. And that's what this video is about. I have worked with Fortune 500 executive CEOs. I worked with one gentleman that was worth over $300 million. In the city of Kansas, he was a highly respected businessman. Do you know what he said to me after he took my course? He said, "You're better than Tony Robbins." He goes, "Maybe not the business coaching, but when it comes to dating and relationships, love, romance, communication," he goes, "you're finally the first person that finally understands what's going on. What I'm going to teach you in my course will change and alter your life forever, guaranteed. You will never look at women in the same way again. You will suddenly understand your entire life. You were literally looking at it from the complete opposite perspective." Okay, the music's going to go down in about 5 seconds. So here's what I want to say. This is the statement of the video. Women cannot understand you at all. And it frustrates them to no end. To the point where they'll yell, they'll scream, they'll try to hurt you on purpose, because the way that they're wired, the way that they receive communication is not the way that you give it. So women assume, and it's really not an assumption, it's more of a physical, experiential, verbal receptiveness, where the way they receive communication is not the way that you give it. You're communicating in a different language, and you're using a different processor. You're using the logical left brain processor for an emotional relationship expression. The problem is that's the right brain's job. You're in the wrong brain. Out of absolute desperation, after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, they will hurt you. They will talk shit about you. They will do anything, because women are like, "I'm trying to reach him." And you're like, "What are you talking about?" Now here's the deal. Because she's wired differently, she doesn't know that you're okay. This is what I mean when she says, "I'm trying to reach him." She thinks that you're not expressing your emotions, when you are expressing your emotions deeply. Women are like, "Well, why don't men open up?" I'm like, "Well, actually, he is open. He's like pouring his heart and soul out to you. The problem is you're doing it in the wrong way. She cannot receive your emotional communication in the way that you give it. The male form of communication does not work when it comes to relationships. It's good for business, it's good for science, and it's great for math. But when it comes to understanding women, communicating to women, and expressing your emotions in a way that she can receive it, it sucks. Now, right now, you're probably being like, what do you mean communication? Look, there's a left brain language. It's called the linear. It means it's very narrow. It's like take a pencil and draw a line and on a piece of paper. Linear means Linear. It's a line. The right brain is like the Apple. So the left brain's like the IBM computer. It's the old linear. Literally, remember it was called the IBM system called Linux. Line. Linux. It's the same thing. Okay, it used to process in a linear fashion. In fact, I haven't kept up with those computers because I've been on Apple for like 20 years or more now. But I'm assuming IBM computers still process using the external linear processor. She's using the right brain. It's like the Apple computer. It's a circular processor. Now, men will say, well, that's not logic. Yes, it is. If you go to physics, if you go far enough in math, you will realize, like, oh, there's something called non-linear physics. There's something called non-linear math. My point is this: when you sit there and say a woman's not logical, you're absolutely wrong. She's just not logical in the left brain linear external way. That's the way that you process. You're stuck, whereas women are left and right brain. You're the one who doesn't understand. It's not the other way around. The first thing I would do is buy my book, Crack the Female Code, okay? That book will show you so much that you've never heard in any other course, any NLP training, anything in hypnosis, anything in Tony Robbins, or any of the experts. It is a radically different way of looking at women and understanding women. And I will tell you this, the book and my course are 100% approved by women. 100%, not kind of, sort of, not 50-50, 100%. Our mating systems are in the same place, but they're wired to two different parts of our brain. And that's why the way you try to romance a woman is not romance to a woman. Keep spending your money, guys. Keep buying roses and flowers and dinners, and that's not what she really wants. There is something that is 100 times more powerful. Buy my book, Crack the Female Code, and find out. Now, so here's one thing that the female brain does. It does something called double pictures. When you say A, her left brain hears A just like yours. So her left brain processes just like yours. The problem is women are left and right brain, whereas men, well, they just use their left brain. So what a woman's brain will do is then it will unconsciously, listen closely, unconsciously, she's not doing it on purpose, it is the way she's wired. She's hardwired this way, just like your car. You turn the ignition key, boom, 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 all these things start to trigger and it starts the engine. All you did was turn the key. You didn't do anything else. You didn't connect this wire to that wire and make this spark hit that spark plug and make this do. No, you didn't do any of that. In other words, she can't help it. It's the way she's wired. It's the way she processes information. She brings it from left to right. Now, what this causes is what we call double pictures. So when you say A, her left brain goes, okay, symbolically he said A, because the right brain is all about symbols. The right brain is literally all about deeper meaning. The right brain's processor literally processes deeper meaning. It's what it does. A tractor is a tractor, a race car is a race car, a jet fighter plane is a jet fighter plane. Don't sit there and say, oh, you're wrong, jet fighter plane. It's not wrong, it's what it does. To learn more about double pictures, buy my book, Crack the Female Code, and then take my course. Essentially, here's what's going on. When you say A, she hears A, she sees A, but then she brings it over to the right brain, and now she sees, hears, and understands B. The right brain changes it into a deeper meaning. This is only one of the codes that the female brain actually does. It is literally a coded language. And on top of it, they literally do speak a different language. It's called the internal language versus the male external language. So the difference between the way women do communication, so she does double pictures, A to B. You do single pictures. You say A, and you mean A. That's it. There is no deeper meaning. Because the left brain, so when I say the male brain, I don't mean men, I mean your left brain. That's how it processes. There's no deeper meaning. The left brain literally is the surface level brain. So when women say, oh, your men are so surface level, well, they're right. Here's the other thing you got to understand. The right brain, one thing you got to understand, the left brain you're born using as a man. The women are born using the right brain. So the right brain means everything to them. The left brain, math, business, it's nice. But deeper meaning, emotional meaning is everything to a woman. And the problem is, it's nothing to a man. And I'm going to tell you something right now, nothing upsets a woman more than you not caring about the deeper meaning. It just makes her look at you like, God, this guy's just a goddamn caveman. He's just surface level. He just has no depth. It's like you're an empty soul. That's what men are like to women. Like you have no soul. Like you have no heart. They're just like, what's wrong with men? I've had clients over the years. I'm going to give you one client, okay? So he said, oh, I understand. And he kind of said something like, no, actually you don't. He goes, no, I really do. I'm like, no, actually you don't. No, and he really got pissed off. And I'm like, and I had to scream. I had to say that. I would go, dude, I'm fucking telling you, you don't fucking understand. He goes, how the fuck do you know? I go, I can tell. And so he just was pissed off. And I go, trust me. You come back tomorrow, I guarantee you. I'm going to teach this to you in a way that you finally understand what this means. He comes back the next day. He's like, holy shit. I go, see, you were up here on the surface level. You were on ground zero. You weren't even on ground one. And there's 20 floors. Now do you understand? He was like, holy shit. My whole life women have been saying this to me. And I thought they were just being bitches. I'm like, no. There's deeper levels. There's actually deeper, different meanings. Now, are you starting to understand when I literally say, women cannot understand you? I'm not just saying that. You are speaking such a foreign, surface level, external, different processor. I mean, right now we've got different processor, different language, different depths of meaning, surface level we'll say. And then, what was the fourth one? And then the double pictures versus single pictures. Those four things alone, now there's more by the way. Those four things alone, you're screwed. I am telling you. She will leave you. I don't give a shit if you buy her $1 million, $2 million, $10 million house. I don't care if you buy her a Ferrari. Eventually, she's going to leave you. Because they're always in search of this one man. There's a mystery. I know there's got to be some man. By the time they're 32 to 36 years old, they realize like, oh shit, men don't do this. It's not just my boyfriend. It's not just my husband. My girlfriends have the same problem. My mom and grandma spoke about, oh my God, oh no, there's got to be a unicorn out there. And that's what I turn you into. I teach you how to do these things and clearly understand these things. So you're the only man in your state that actually understands how to do this. All right, so I had a friend when I was a kid growing up. We moved to the Midwest for 6.5 years. We came back to California. So while we were out there, made some good friends, good family friends, and many, many years later, so this is in my 30s, he came out to California, and my brother died, so he came out for the funeral. Now his name is Brett. My friend, that flew out. So we went to lunch one day, and said, hey, let's go out to lunch. Okay, we went to Red Lobster. And we were talking, and he literally pulls out like the old 70s, we used to take pictures, Polaroids, and we'd put them in this plastic kind of fold thing, and you'd unfold it and like kind of fall down to the ground, and you had all 20 pictures or whatever. He literally had one of those. This was probably, I think, 1999 or something like that, maybe 2000 something, maybe it was 2006, I think, actually. Kind of like, hey, that's kind of weird, just put it in your cell phone, because we did have cell phones back then. So he started telling me about his wife. It was Chrissy. Chrissy and I were in the same grade. Brett's about 4 grades ahead of us. And he was talking, explaining things, how he bought her a new car. They just bought a 2-story home with a white picket fence. They got a pond in the backyard. So he's sitting on I think it was 5 acres or something like that. This guy is a private elite, what do they call him? He's a jet pilot, but he only does it when he flies around like professional businessmen, and so they get paid a lot more than people that fly those jumbo jets. So the guy was making, I think it was $250,000 a year. He'd been, and this is back in the 90s. Okay, so at this point he'd made quite a bit of money, and the place he lived was not as expensive as California. So he had this big house, 2 brand new cars, he had 2 kids and a dog. I mean, he just literally had the American dream. And I said to him, I said, hey man, you really, since you're going to be out for a week, why don't we get together every day for about 3 hours? Let me teach you some of this internal stuff that I'm talking about so you can save your marriage. And he goes, what? Now we're in a restaurant. He flips. He loses his shit. He goes, what are you talking about? I just showed you we got a perfect marriage, a perfect family, a perfect home. I go, dude, those are all external things. The right brain does not value external things at all. It has to be right brain internal things. I go, you are missing the boat. I said, dude, you've got about 2 years before she literally asks you for a divorce. So he got pissed off. We ended our lunch or dinner or whatever it was, and he took off. We never spoke again. 2 years later, to the month, my phone rings. Guess who it is? He says, hey Mike, it's Brett. I say, hey, what's going on? He goes, you're not going to believe this. I go, let me guess. Chrissy just filed for divorce. She handed you the papers. He got real quiet. He goes, how did you know? I said, look, man, you're a very linear, logical dude, and nothing bores a woman or irritates their brain more than this overly logical bullshit. It is not romantic. It does not relax her. She can't be sensual with you. She can't be sexual with you. I go, I bet you guys haven't had sex in probably 2 years. He goes, yeah. He goes, it pretty much stopped almost 2 years ago. And then he goes, but Mike, I buy her things all the time. I'm like, that's right. You buy her things. Things are not sexual. Things are not emotional. Things do not make her feel close to you emotionally. He said, but Mike, she's always happy when I give them to her. I go, dude, buy me a brand new car. I'll be fucking happy. Doesn't mean I'm going to fall in love with you. So then what happened was, we started talking about what I shared earlier, left brain, right brain, double pictures, internal language, much more in depth. And we had a couple phone conversations. I was teaching him finally. And I said, look, you have to understand something. When men talk, women can't understand you. And he got really quiet because I already know that this is what men, all men, go through. The problem is he doesn't really understand that. He's not aware of it. And yet she said this to him. Not just him, but I mean to men, to all of you guys. Because most of you just blow it off like, oh, she's just being silly. She's being weird. She's just doing that woman thing. Here's the really weird thing. Men are, the left brain's the direct brain. Women are very direct. Hey, I don't understand you. You need to communicate better. You need to this, and I don't understand you. And he said, man, you know what? Now that you pointed out, she said that to me for years. I'm like, yeah. And then he goes, I just kind of laughed at her. I just blew her off. And because she would say, like, we're not speaking the same language and you don't understand me. I just thought she was being a pain in the butt, or she was just being weird like women are. Guys, tip number 1. When you think she's being weird like a woman, guess what? It means you're not understanding something she's saying to your face directly. And as a direct brain, you're supposed to be the direct person to understand direct communication. But you don't, because you blow it off. And you know why you blow it off? Because the left brain is what we call inside the box thinking. It's literally sealed. You're inside there, and if it's not inside my little male brain box, then it must not exist. And you're saying something that I don't understand. It's weird, it's different, therefore it's not real, and therefore you're weird. No, what it really means is you're gonna say it. You're the stupid one in this case, not her. I promise you, when you take my course, you're going to be like, holy shit, women say this all the time. You're going to be like, dude, it's in music, it's in the songs, it's in movies, it's in TV. Yeah, it's everywhere, and you've never saw it. It's right, it's put in your face again and again and again, and you never heard it, and you never saw it. You just thought, oh, that's just that weird gobbledygook language that women speak. It's an actual language. It's like going to fucking Mexico and speaking Spanish. It doesn't mean Spanish people are stupid. That means they're speaking a different language. And God, it is a romantic language. Now here's the other thing I wanted to tell you. So the two processors, the left brain, the right brain, give two different meanings to the same word. See, in language like hola means hello, hello means hola, those are two different words that have the same meaning. This is the opposite of that. For example, let's use the word romance. So I just said that this language, this way of being is extremely romantic. What do you think it means? Just think about it for a second. If the first word out of your mouth was not seduction power, guess what? You don't understand what romance means to a woman. Most men think romance is dressing nice, being proper, being classy, having your hair, get a new haircut, getting a new button dress shirt and ironing it and dressing nice, putting on dress shoes and opening the doors and driving up to the car to her house and knocking on her door and walking her to the car, opening the door, pulling the chair out, paying. That is not romance. That's zero. Romance is unbelievably sexy, sensual seduction. The problem is it has to be done in the female way. If you do it in the male direct way, it's considered crude. Here's the really weird thing. If you do it in the female way, it's extremely sexual. It's extremely erotic. And I'm talking pornographic, XXX rated videos. It's literally the same thing, but it's done in the hidden way, in the hidden language. If you learn how to do this, and you have to do it in a very subtle way, there is an art to this. She is going to get radically turned on. Now, here's the interesting thing. I was talking to a young lady. I was about 34, I think. She was probably about 26 or so, maybe 24. And she just happened to be sitting at a table next to me at an outside sandwich shop. And I started talking to her in this way, and her mom was like eavesdropping, and her mom reaches over, grabs my shoulder, and she goes, "I am so glad my daughter met you. You are like one of the most romantic men in the world. You are so blah blah, classy and respectful and blah blah blah." And I knew this logically, but I never had a woman say it to me. The fact that a mom said this to me when I was doing it to her daughter just blew my fucking mind. Because guys, if you understood the coded language that I was speaking, I was not saying A, but it sounded like. See, that's the deal. You can say A, but it means B, which is really sexual. As long as you say A publicly, it's considered classy, respectful, and romantic. The word romantic does not mean nice. I am telling you, it means fucking sexual. But if you do it directly in a very sexual way, she's going to get pissed off. If you don't do it in the coded way, her mating system gets turned off and she closes up and she's like, and she'll never talk to you again. So let's go back to Brett and Chrissy, or I think it's Brent, sorry. So I said, look, you have to understand, most women, when their husband comes home, they literally feel like they're talking to a complete strange caveman. Like a caveman's walking around that doesn't even speak a human dialect or language, and she can't understand you. She's like, well, why won't I can't understand this guy. I go, sometimes they'll literally say, I feel like I'm living with a caveman that can't speak English. And he got really quiet. He said, Chrissy's actually said that to me. I'm like, yeah, I bet she has. Because literally, imagine this. Imagine like you're a woman and you're in a house and some dude walks in. You've seen it before, but he's a caveman. He has no clothes. He's got long fingernails, long hair all of his back. If you think I'm joking, this is how men. Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now. When you come to the course, I'm gonna teach you. Like, men grunt. Hey, yo, hey, what's up, man? Hey, man. We grunt. We have never let go of the caveman language. We are still speaking caveman. I'm telling you, when you take this course, you are gonna go out in public and you're gonna look at other men and you're gonna be like, holy shit! How did I not never see this before? You're gonna be like, Mike. Look at the way they're talking. Look at the way their body language. I'm like, yeah, they're fucking cavemen. Oh, not me. That's what that guy that was worth $300 million said to me. And I'm like, dude, you are like the caveman of all cave. No, not me. When he took the course, he's like, oh my God, I am. I was like, see, I told you. His wife told him that. She used to scream. She goes, you're like a fucking caveman. He told me, because she would cuss at me and she would scream that at me. And I just thought she was being weird. Guys, I'm going to tell you something right now. You've got a lot to learn. But Mike, I did the Tony Robbins seminars. I did the Dr. John Graves seminar. I mean, I've had clients come. I had one guy come to me with 2 doctorate degrees that did all the relationships seminars and all the home study programs of all the top elite. He took my course. He said, oh my God, no wonder why I got divorced 2 times. And that's generally who comes to me, the men that have been divorced 2 times who are over 45 years old. Because you finally start to realize, I'm missing something, and clearly these other guys are not teaching me. You're gonna realize how much happiness and understanding and clarity you can have with a woman. You're gonna be like, oh my God, like we're literally, like when you realize you're speaking 2 different languages, you're gonna clearly understand why you guys argued and fought, and why she got pissed off, and why she's like, have you ever had a conversation where you guys sat down, okay, let's talk this out, okay, we've been misunderstanding, and here's what you're doing. You're saying A, and you're saying one thing, and your brain means A, but her brain processes it and changes the meaning to mean B. She hears B, and you hear A. Same thing when she talks to you. She's saying A out of her right brain, and then you process it unconsciously through your left brain, and it changes the meaning to everything she just said. Only for you guys the very next day to argue and fight about the same damn thing that you'd argued and fought about the night before. You said this and this means that. No, it doesn't mean that. It means this. And you will argue to death. You're both wrong. Go to crackedfemalecode.com and buy my book, Cracked Female Code. Better yet, buy my package, the ultimate package, and get all the books. Hey, this is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com or crackedfemalecode.com. Please click subscribe, click the like button, go ahead and make a comment. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.